This is a 24-plat nylon bullwhip. It's made from a newly developed 3mm cord. This material plats like a dream, and I think it's going to be a game changer in the world of synthetic whipmaking.
Well, hello everyone and welcome back to the Whip Shop. If you're new to the channel, my name's Nick Schrader. I'm a whip maker as well as a photographer, filmmaker, and on this channel I make a lot of whip related videos, including tutorials on builds and also the scientific aspects of whips. If that's something you guys might be interested in, please do hit that subscribe button to stay informed. A few months ago I contacted the Paracord Store, whom I've had a great relationship over the past year, and I asked them, guys, what do you think about manufacturing a thinner diameter material for higher plat counts? Something similar to this, a material which was popular a few years ago, but unfortunately, the company who was manufacturing this stuff stopped making it. And that made a lot of whip makers, including myself, pretty sad. So I cut a piece off of this spool and sent it in to my friends over at the Paracord Store, and they were able to replicate it very close. They sent me some samples and I took it and I made this. And the build instructions for this whip are actually in the description of this video. But I must warn you, it's not perfect. If anything, you'll probably come up with some wasted strands, but you won't come up short, I don't think. So be easy on me, guys. I'm still perfecting the strand lengths for this whip. Now, at a first glance, this material doesn't look that much thinner than 650 or 550 paracord. It's not until we pull it and apply tension to it that we would achieve when we plat it that we can tell just how much thinner it is. So what's the advantage of having a higher plat count on a bullwhip? Number one, it just looks great. If you guys are wanting to do intricate braiding on the handle and do patterns, as you saw in my previous video, which included face plat, if you guys want to do that kind of stuff, a higher plat count gives you quote-unquote more pixels, so your designs and patterns will be more recognizable. So that's one reason to have a higher plat count in your whips. Number two, if we compare side to side a 16 plat bullwhip made with 550 parachute cord on the top and this bullwhip on the bottom, which is 24 plat made of the new material, we can really see the difference. At the point, it's a much finer point than the whip on the top that is 550 paracord. So another advantage is just being able to get your fall hitch and your end of your whip thinner with a higher plat count. This whip ends in 6 strands and the one on the top ends in only 4 strands. So it's a much finer, smoother ending. The third reason that I think it's so important to try out a whip of a high plat count like this is because it's going to be frustrating, it's going to take you a long time, but you'll learn things about yourself as a craftsman, as a whip maker. You will learn things about yourself, and then when you go back to creating 16 plat whips or whips of a lower plat count, you're going to be able to fly through those strands. Everything will seem so large and you'll be able to see everything all at once. So for that reason, also I recommend a higher plat count. At least do it once and give it a try. I really think though that there's going to be a lot of applications for this new material. The stock whip tutorial that I made using Adam Winrich's design, I think that's going to be a build where we can introduce more overlay strands. As it stands, that whip is a 10 plat, but I wouldn't be surprised if with the width of this cord we can make it maybe even a 16 plat. So I am encouraging all of you to try this cord. Go to the Paracord Store and purchase it and just experiment. I think this is going to really change things up. Now, I filmed some of the building process of this whip, so I took the strands through a few different patterns just to see how they performed, and here's some video clips of that. Okay guys, so I want you to see the progress here on this whip. So I have here a 24 plat handle overlay in progress. I started with a 2-strand side-by-side diamond, and I'm getting ready to
go into a single strand diamond plat in 24 strands. So I'm just going to be working on this whip. Eventually I'll get into the herringbone, and I'm just kind of seeing how this material works, and I'll be giving you guys little updates along the way. So we're working our way through. I just tested out the single strand diamond pattern, and now I'm moving into a herringbone, and it's actually been a while since I have platted a 24 plat whip, so I'm remembering the challenges that come with it. But I'm also remembering how beneficial it was the first time I did it, because when I did switch back to a lower plat number that I was used to, everything felt so easy. So as you can see, I'm kind of having to count, okay, there's 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there is a learning curve with a whip that has this high of a plat count. And Peter Thorndike, my friend, I can't even fathom how you did, I think it was 72 strands on the handle of multiple whips that you made, man. I just cannot even fathom that. So guys, this cord is going to enable higher plat counts, or it's also going to give the possibility for whips that are scaled down. But I'm loving the way that these strands are falling into place. As a matter of fact, check out this comparison. Look at the big difference. That 650 parachute cord on the left, and then here on the right, you can see this cord that I'm working through right now. Currently in a 16 plat, I'm working my way down this whip. There's still a little bit left to go. I'm about 3/4 of the way through. I'm just adjusting my strand length measurements as I go there on the right side. Like I said, they're not perfect, and they won't be perfect by the time I'm done with this whip. I'll have to fine-tune them for a few more builds, but I'm trying to get the basic idea, and I'm pretty happy with the way this material's working. So I'm going to continue on, and I'll be ending this whip in a 6-point fall hitch as opposed to 4. So here's the finished product. I just waxed the whip, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm really happy with this new material, that's for sure. As you can see, it is extremely smooth. The one thing that I'm going to have to work on personally is my strand drops. Now you can really tell in some of these spots where I dropped strands, as you can see right there. It's a little ugly. That strand is almost underneath the other one. So that's something I'm going to have to work on. I am absolutely happy with this material. I have a little 2-pass 7x6 there at the heel, excuse me. But this whip rolls out so well, being a 3-belly whip. It lends itself to a smoother rollout. This is the way it turned out, though. We have that nice 6-point fall hitch, and I am excited to give this whip a try. That's the power of 3 bellies right there, guys. This whip doesn't have a lot of binding at the transition either, so. It's a lighter whip. I didn't put a lot of shot loading in it. I'm really pleased with that fine point that we're able to achieve with this thinner nylon. That's a 6-point fall hitch. This would most likely be the equivalent of a 4-plat in 650 or 550 parachute cord, or perhaps even a tapered twist. That is a really fine point and a really nice ratio, size ratio between the handle and the end of the whip. Well guys, I'm pretty happy with the way that that whip turned out. There was a little bit of strand crowding, and the drops I'm going to have to work on. It's a bit of a learning curve with this new material, but I'm going to be making a lot more videos covering this stuff. We'll do some complex knots, we'll integrate it into some stock whips, we'll do some fancy plaiting, more patterns with it. There's a strong future for this material. Go get this stuff and experiment on your own. That's what I did when I started making whips. I had an idea for strand lengths for a certain whip, and I would make the whip and the strand lengths wouldn't be perfect, but each time I would make it, I would write in those little adjustments that I wanted to make for the next time I built that whip. And every time I would make the whip, it would boil down and become more precise. So do that. Guys, don't worry about wasting material. Paracord is cheap. Experimentation is part of any craft, so go get yourself some of this cord and just try things on your own. I would love to see some video responses from you guys on whips you made with this material. A special thank you to the Paracord Store for working with me to make this vision a reality. We got a new material now. Let's have some great fun with it and build some awesome whips.
Guys, thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. Go head over to the paracordstore.com and pick up some of this material to try out on your next whip. If you guys enjoy these videos, I would appreciate it if you would head over to patreon.com/NicksWhipShop, where you can support these videos on a monthly basis. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.